Hi everybody, this is Charlize, the Nocti Girl here at Death Valley National Park with the Leica Q2 monochrome. Let's see what this amazing place looks like in black and white. So I had the pleasure of trying out this camera for a few days and I gotta say, it really made me miss my Q Titanium. That used to be my favorite travel camera when I was traveling lots before COVID. It is lightweight, fast, easy to use. It has autofocus, which is a luxury for me since I now shoot mostly M's and other rangefinders. And the macro mode is honestly mind-blowing. You'll see why in a little bit. A lot of people have asked me if it's worth the investment to own the black and white only camera. And that really depends on what you shoot. One of my favorite films of all time is Kodak Tri-X. When I know that I have a roll of black and white film in my camera, my eyes actually see the world differently. I look at highlights and shadows in consideration to how they will affect my composition. I pay way more attention to basic shapes and lines and how they work together in the image. I rarely convert a color photo to black and white because I did not compose the shot thinking it would be a black and white image. It would just be weird if I forced it. Sometimes though I do get lucky. When I get one of those rare shots that could work in both color and black and white, that's when I do the conversion. If it enhances the image, of course. Now, it is a known fact that the DNG files from some of these monochrome cameras could come out pretty flat in terms of contrast. Having shot the M9 monochrome, the M10 monochrome, and the Q2 monochrome, I have to say the Q2 is probably between the M9 and the M10 in terms of flatness. The benefits of having pretty flat DNG or RAW files are the details recorded in the creative freedom. These files provide more information to work with in post-production. Previously, I had mentioned that Tri-X is one of my all-time favorites. For you film shooters, you will know that Tri-X is one of the more contrasty films. With that said, I do like my black and white shots to be more contrasty and dramatic, and that's how I edited my shots from this trip, so they would have that pop that I love. When I shoot with these monochrome cameras, I usually expose for the highlights. Meaning, in contrasty situations, I tend to underexpose so the camera can capture more information in those really bright areas. These monochrome sensors are more forgiving with shadows and highlights. When the highlights are blown out, they're blown out. No information is recorded in the blown out areas. But most of the time you'll be able to pull up shadows in post-production and see some details there. This image you see right now is straight out of the camera. It is not what I saw with my eyes when I captured the image. The entire scene was very contrasty. In the center area down this really big rock was so bright and reflective as the sun was hitting it directly, making the rest of the scene very dark and shadowy. I knew I needed to stop down as I wanted to retain some of the details on that rock, so I exposed for the highlights, letting the rest of the scene be about 2 to 3 stops underexposed. Then I brought up the exposure in Lightroom so I could get some of the details back. See how clearly you can see the cracks and lines on that rock? The sharpness on this camera and lens combo is mind-blowing. Here are some images I shot in macro mode. Keep in mind that they were all handheld. See the details on this lizard? The touch, focus, release function on this nifty camera definitely made shooting in macro mode a lot easier. Instead of looking through the viewfinder and trying to pull focus while holding my breath, I was able to compose the scene in live view and getting focus by touching a specific spot on the screen. And when I released my finger from the spot, the exposure was taken. That's how I was able to get such sharp focus with shallow depth of field. Generally, you would get sharper images on monochrome cameras than their color counterparts. And this was also the case with the Q2 monochrome. As we all know, a digital camera captures images with the pixels on its sensor. The pixels actually only capture the intensity or the amount of light, not the colors of light. The colors that we see on digital images are produced by the red, green, and blue color filters placed in front of individual pixels on the sensor. The monochrome cameras don't have the additional color filters in front of the pixels, hence making the images sharper, more detailed, and with a greater dynamic range. Overall, I really enjoy this camera and was impressed by its capabilities and ease of use. What's your favorite feature on this camera? Leave me a comment down below. Well, you've been knocked up today. I'm really knocked out. I hope you enjoyed the park as much as I did. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.